He actually has a parable about it that really spells it out. And you can find it in Luke chapter 12. And it's the story of the rich, wealthy landowner. And he has many, many crops. And he has so much grain on hand that his barns can't even contain it. So he decides he's going to tear down his barns, build bigger barns. And this is the wording from it. And then Jesus says, and so he will say to his soul, "O soul," who talks to themselves like that? This guy does. He says, "O soul, I have many goods laid up for many years, and what I will do is take my ease, eat, drink, and be merry." And God says to him, "You fool, do you not know that this day your soul is required of you?" And what that is that's a picture of a person who is carnal or worldly minded. He's thinking about himself, he's thinking about his future, he's thinking all about those, and he hasn't taken care of his soul, because you never ever know when your number is going to get called. And for this man, it was that day. And I know what we do. I know we read this and we say, well, I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be that guy who's laying up so much treasure on earth that, he forgets about his future and he forgets about eternal things. So I'm just going to, fill up a little bit of treasures on earth, just a little bit. And I think we pay mental assent to this, but I don't think we've totally figured it out. I think we kind of feel like deep down in our heart we think, I know money can't buy you happiness, but a little money wouldn't hurt. Maybe a little happiness from that money. And we think, maybe it doesn't work for other people, but I actually think money would make me pretty happy. And I think this is kind of what goes on in our head, even though we won't want to admit it out loud. So here's a true life story, another example of this. Jesus gave his version of it. We have all kinds of anecdotal stories in our culture. And here's one that some of you remember. There was a woman by the name of Christina Onassis, and she was the daughter of Aristotle Onassis. He was one of the wealthiest men in the world. He was the Greek shipping magnate. At the time, he had more money than just about anybody. And he had this beloved daughter. Here's a picture of Ari. And you remember, he married Jackie Kennedy, and she became Jackie O. And this was his daughter, Christina. And he gifted her, you ready for this? $250 million. How many of you think you might be able to live on $250 million? You think you could? Some of you could. Some of you are saying, no, by today's standards, what's $250 million? It's nothing. People have billions these days, right? And anyway, she got this kind of money, and yet she lived an absolutely miserable life, and she was dead by age 37. She died lonely, miserable, unhappy, unhealthy. And there was this book written about her life, and here it is, this Life of Christina Onassis, and it was subtitled, are you ready for this? All the Pain That Money Can Buy. And this is what she said. She said, if anybody thinks that money can buy them happiness, need to look no further than our family. Now that's confusing for me, because when I grew up, my father always used to say to me, happiness, what's happiness? That can't buy you money. And if you want to know why I'm so twisted, it was my dad's fault. He used to give me life lessons like that. And so, you get confused. But here's the point I'm making, is that we kind of think that intuitively we know that it won't make us happy, but we go so trapped up in it anyway.